Good morning, fine people. Welcome back to Full Bore Silver. Well, it's Sunday. The biggest game in the world is tonight. The entire world is watching. No, it's not the Super Bowl. It's silver, the precious metals. The market's open again tonight. I don't even know who's playing in the Super Bowl. I think it's the Saskatoon Rough Riders versus the Mississippi Mudhens. I'm not too sure. I used to be that guy with 5 fantasy football teams, I'm embarrassed to admit, but after it went too fake and gay and they fired John Gruden, I said I'm out of here. No more. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be focused on that. No Snoop Dogg Olympics, no Super Bowl. We're watching precious metals markets cuz that is the biggest game in the world. The Dow Jones Industrial Index hit 50K last week. And the executive was bragging about this, very happy at these overvaluations in the regular stock market. So we'll see. Alistair McLeod was on Capital Cosm. Brilliant analysis, as usual. He predicts that bond yields will continue to rise, and eventually they're going to break out like they're already doing in Japan. And once it breaches 4.755 on the 10-year Treasury, the markets are going to implode. This $50,000 DJI Dow Jones, that's going to be a thing of the past. And what the government is going to do, because they put so much emphasis on keeping these inflated stock markets up and pushing everybody's money into the stock market, there will be massive quantitative easing at that point to re-stimulate the market, which will totally decimate the US dollar, which is fantastic for precious metals. It's going to lead to the further implosion of this economy, but we'll see where it goes. Took a little break yesterday, was out on the boat with Aaron, Texas Silver, soaking up the 85-degree Texas weather. It has been gorgeous down here. Water was a little chilly, had to don the 7mm wetsuit, but I was finding that I used to dive in that wetsuit up in Massachusetts, Gulf of Maine, lobster hunting with a 7mm. And that water got down to 38 degrees at depth. I remember I had a dive emergency at 90 feet with a buddy. We were lobster hunting. And my regulator free-flowed, so it was stuck open. So 120 pounds of compressed cubic air went out of my regulator in probably 30 seconds. I had no air at 90 feet, and I gave him the share air sign, and my buddy saved my life at 90 feet. I would have definitely had a pulmonary embolism or decompression sickness or something. But yeah, he shared his air. We got back to the top safely and got back in. But that wetsuit's fantastic. And you can surf 12 months a year down here, so it's fantastic. I also saw that there was an interesting release from the Epstein tranche of emails released last Saturday, and it was former Barclays CEO and JP Morgan alumnus Jess Staley, who lives in Boston, where I used to be for a little while. He was making fun of all the normies that watch the Super Bowl, and these are his words, not mine. All the commercials with the black guys driving hot cars with white women. So he was making fun of all the normies that were sitting around watching those commercials while they performed this monetary reset. Interesting, Jess Staley of Barclays, 34 years with JP Morgan, another fantastic outfit. 1,400 emails with Epstein. And then I saw that it was revealed in December of 25 that Jess Staley and Lawrence Summers, yes, Lawrence Summers, were appointed executors of Epstein's will, should he die. I mean, of course, he's alive. They actually have footage of him right now in Israel. I don't know if you've seen this, but he's got a beard grown out. He's looking pretty good. He's looking fit. He's got some Mossad bodyguards, so he's looking good. But, you know, just another lie. I haven't 100% verified this yet, but this stuff is all over X. Larry Summers, executor of Epstein's will, you may remember he basically controlled the U.S. economy as well. He was Obama's director of National Economic Council. He was president of Harvard for a time. He was Clinton's Treasury Secretary. He was a World Bank economist, and he honeymooned on Little St. James, Epstein's Island. So these are the people controlling America. These are the people controlling the world. They're a bunch of pedophilic reptiles. And that's why we're fighting this thing so hard. People watching the Super Bowl and paying attention to nonsense and reality TV. As difficult as some of this stuff is to watch and read, you got to pay attention to it. And also, it's directly correlated to the silver markets because that's the escape hatch, is precious metals. Look at the smart money. They're hoarding as much gold as possible. Poland, these are 2025 statistics. Poland added 102 tons of gold. Kazakhstan, someplace between 52 and 57 tons of gold. Brazil, 43 tons of gold. Turkey, 27 tons of gold. Czech Republic, 20 tons of gold. China, they're not telling anybody. They're making up a few figures. Who knows how much gold they have or have hoarded. And likely there's a few cobwebs and mice running around at Fort Knox. God only knows how much they've stolen out of there, but there's probably nothing in there. Silver, these markets opening tonight, I mean, I look forward to this all week and weekend, and I know y'all do too, but from my view, and some people are calling for further retracement. I've heard numbers of 50. Finance a Lot said 42. And then, of course, it shot up from the 63 to 77. So he was wrong there. But other people are still calling for retracement. I think we might chop a little bit. But if you zoom out to the weekly and monthly charts, we have just formed the handle on the cup and handle pattern. Insanely bullish chart. I think this thing at some point within the next few weeks, maybe 4 weeks, goes into rocket ship mode, and we are in a completely new paradigm, as Michael Oliver says. So we're going to be watching it with bated breath, anticipating it, trying to get ahead of some of the moves on the miners. Miners are still insanely undervalued. Be careful when you do your TA and your financial and fundamental research on the miners. Some of them make zero money. Others are making billions and billions of dollars a quarter, like Barrick and Newmont and Wheaton, and best in class is kind of where I like to stay. And then a micro portion of the portfolio goes into the more speculative stuff. The Guanajuatos, the Talisker, GR, I mean, some of the smaller ones, I'm not going to run through the whole name, but you can do your own research on that and look at the executive teams, etc. Definitely do your homework there before you allocate any capital. And that is kind of going to the casino when you're investing in companies that don't actually generate revenue yet. But in this new paradigm, these companies, at some point, at least a portion of them, are going to be making monster returns. So that's the update for Sunday morning. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend and continue to and enjoy the biggest game on earth tonight. Full bore silver. Please like, subscribe, share. Talk to you soon.